listen, but you have to look out for the family. That's what you and Bill don't do. Sometimes you got to look out for the family.
Our nation, it is in utter confusion. The majority of the population voted for President Trump after realizing there was a grand conspiracy against him for the control of our president's seat. Now the American citizens are bewildered. The obvious conspiracy against our elected president and the clear attack against our democratic process still goes unpunished. How can that be? The censorship and misinformation has only advanced to something more sinister. What is the cure? Hello, everybody. I'm Ferris Broxton. Today, I'm going to tell you how they're doing it, how the conspiring deep state is able to completely control our government. And I'm going to expose our top lawmaker here in North Dakota for doing it. The deep state is got us so divided that the voting public is at each other's throats. There is a bona fide miracle, nonetheless, going on in Congress. The Judicial Oversight Committee has reached a unanimous decision. For the first time, maybe ever, they're all in harmony. What's going on? They're all in agreement that the FISA program must be radically changed. Our lawmakers were also at each other's throats until every single person on this committee realized what FISA can do to them. Our lawmakers are now united. That's right, the Judicial Oversight Committee, who has seen the incredible wicked abuses of the spy agency program known as FISA, has agreed that the program needs a massive overhaul. These changes are long overdue. Lindsey Graham claims he's going to sue for $10 million because he was illegally spied on. The proposal from our lawmakers was $500,000 for every instance where a senator was spied on illegally. What a bunch of clowns. Do they not realize that we elected them? We didn't elect them to protect themselves. We elected them to protect us. What's going on? Can we get these lawmakers to protect us instead of robbing us? Senator Graham has an opportunity to propose legislation to change the laws to hold these people accountable, like minimum mandatory sentencing. That seems like a good place to start. But none of them are doing it. They want the victims, the taxpayers like myself, to pay them. That's why I'm throwing my hat in the ring for U.S. House Rep. I want to write and pass laws to stop the overthrow of our country by those who abuse FISA, misinformation, and censorship. While the Oversight Committee has revealed the massive volumes of corruption in FISA, they have little explanation of exactly what intercepting communications means. I'm asking you to turn off your football game long enough to learn about the interception of our country and your freedom by those who strategically develop a program to do just that while you're distracted. Even while Kash Patel and Pam Bondi publicly look for witnesses, they can't hear someone who is constantly broadcasting that they're a witness against the chief suspect. Do you think possibly that there is some communications interception and censorship going on here with me? I've been screaming for years now, broadcasting that I'm an unheard eyewitness. I've documented it very well and caught the individuals, including our lawmakers, who are cooperating with it. So you see myself in front of you, a citizen producing the evidence to indict the chief suspect who obviously signed the FISA warrant against Trump. Anyone who has followed this series or looked at it now can see that there is a flagrant attempt to ignore the evidence that I've made public. My case, which proves that Sally Quillian Yates was using FISA to run organized crime, has been censored by the media, minimized by our representative, shadow banned by corrupt technology. No doubt, the FISA abusers I caught that have been doing this for the last 16 years are still the ones doing it today. Clearly, a brief look into my case, which is publicly available at ferrisbroxton.com, which you see there in the corner of your screen, no doubt will convince anyone who looks at it that I am the unheard witness our nation needs. Proof that I've caught the chief suspect in our nation's grand conspiracy. Her attacks against Trump are the second time that Sally Quillian Yates is caught using FISA to run a grand conspiracy. Never mind that Sally Yates told me that she would do whatever necessary to stop Trump. Yeah, my testimony is really relevant also, but just look at my case and she will see that you'll see that she is hopelessly caught. Now that's on, like I said, ferrisbroxton.com. But I've got it right here. Certified copies. All of the evidence needed to prove that this is real and legitimate. How is it that all of our authorities have completely ignored all the evidence I've provided that the chief suspect, Sally Quillian Yates, is the criminal that everybody thinks she is? The lady that signed the FISA warrant against Trump. It's ridiculous. Today, I'm going to show you how our government has used these wicked technologies to overthrow our country. First, let's recall that the government program FISA intercepts communications. That means they can take them without the communication going to its intended recipient. They can intercept any and all electronic communications. In other words, you could call your friend and warn him that a malicious actor, a corrupt government agent, is looking for him in order to trick him into a crime. That same government agent can intercept the call, the email, the text message, whatever you try to reach him with, in order to prevent you from warning them about the attack that government agent is planning against them. They did this to me and my friends, and I caught them doing it. My case will prove that they do this habitually. Some of this technology at first might seem like progress until you see what our government has done with it. I'm going to play just a real basic clip here showing you, because a lot of people don't realize how easy this is to do. And then we're going to get into a lot of stuff that you might be shocked at. Okay, this is Kevin, a helpful computer guy, giving some basic instructions on how to remotely access your computer in order to help your friends or relatives or get computer support. Can we get clip 1, please?
Hi everyone, Kevin here. Today we're going to look at how you can connect from a PC, a phone,
Hey, we got
or
the wrong
a
one. Give me a
tablet
minute.
to another PC. This is perfect if you want to access one of your devices from a remote location, or maybe you want to help a relative with a computer problem. We've all been there.
So that's just a clip anybody can find on YouTube of a, sorry about the error there, but that just shows anyone how you can go online remotely and access somebody else's computer. Okay, keep that in the back of your mind just for a moment. Now, FISA is a spy agency program with secret electronic tools that government agents use to collect any data from all electronic communications. Now, FISA is supposed to track people who are not American citizens and not in the United States. Still, the House Oversight Committee just revealed a little bit more of what's really going on. This is Miss Goitein telling Congress about how much information is swept up in FISA 702. Now, as you watch this, pay attention to the details, because this clip, just this single clip right here, has so much terrifying information verified going before our Senate Oversight Committee. Watch what she says and think about what she has to correct herself on, because it goes from being this well intended to her having to correct herself and walk back and tell what they really can do and are doing. Can we see clip 2, please?
It's about 1 billion communications, internet communications collected every year, and because they reside in these systems for at least 5 years, several billion communications right now in storage collected under 702.
And what are these communications? Are these calls, texts, emails, location data?
It can be anything, and it doesn't have to be communications. It can be any kind of foreign intelligence information or information that is qualifies as foreign intelligence. Actually, it doesn't have to be foreign intelligence. The government just has to have a foreign intelligence purpose. So it can be any kind of information imaginable, but definitely it includes electronic surveillance, which is communications.
Got it. And who could be tied up in this database? In terms of American citizens, members of Congress, everyday American citizens, who all could be caught up in this?
Right, so there are almost 300,000 foreign targets, and they do not, as I said before, they don't have to be suspected of any wrongdoing, and so anybody who has the misfortune of being in communication with someone who has been designated as one of these targets, their communications will be swept up.
That video clip right there is something that every single student in high school should be tested on before they're sent out into the real world to have to deal with the threats by our disgusting spy agencies, bad actors. Ms. Goitine just told you that any kind of information imaginable can be swept up. 5 billion pieces in their database at this point. You heard Mr. Gill ask who can be caught up in this. American citizens? It's kind of funny that I was able to reach Mr. Gill's assistant one time, and then that communication line was severed. Calls, text, searches, any information available, imaginable. Now, you heard Ms. Goitine say that any foreign target, not necessarily someone suspected of wrongdoing, could simply misdial your phone or send you a text message, and the system would sweep up all of your information. That's terrifying. From your banking records, to your text messages, to your passwords, your fingerprint access, anything. Now, we just opened the door on this, but think about that. A foreign actor who is working for the CIA could be told to just call you and hang up. And then a criminal with the federal government would have access to every single password on your computer, phone, tablet, bank, everything. It's saved in a database with 5 billion pieces of information. That's what they just told you. Now, it's really easy for somebody to access your computer remotely. That was the first video. Basic computer tech today. People use it every day, all the time. You can download information. You can access your computer remotely, or they can, while you're asleep, and do whatever they want, because they have all of the passwords to do it. I've witnessed this, okay? This is not some conspiracy theory. This is how your government and its representatives are being controlled, manipulated, and I'm going to provide you some evidence of that in just a moment. We just opened the door on this, but let's look already what a corrupt government agent can do. Anything under 702, they can access everything they want. Wait, I forgot. If you have children, you should probably turn this off. It doesn't matter if your children are young or adults. The harrowing nightmare of the spy agencies is a hell that you don't want them to realize they're living in. I just told you that if a foreign target cooperating with the spy agencies calls you and simply hangs up, that all of the information on your device and connected devices can be swept up into a database of 5 billion pieces of information collected likewise. Now, let's say you're a witness against the spy agencies, like I am. How hard would it be for them to hack into your device while you're asleep and create any sort of communication or download something illegal on your device? They could easily plant something, and they could even delete it so that you don't know that it was ever planted there. But the federal agent with access to the database will be able to see what they planted because it's there for several years. We know that FISA intercepts all communications. That means your passwords, fingerprints, fingerprint reader, voice recognition, retinal scan, it doesn't matter. You just heard the experts telling you that. Let's look at something I've been concerned about before the general public even knew it was possible. This is nationally recognized broadcast, CNN, talking about how somebody can use voice impersonation with a simple computer app. Let that sink in. This is CNN discussing an attack against Donald Trump, once again, his chief of staff, who they did this to. Video clip 3, please.
Tonight, the FBI investigating an elaborate plot to impersonate Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles. A senior White House official telling CNN that Wiles believes her personal phone and contact list was hacked, allowing the impersonator to reach governors, senators, business executives. I mean, who knows who else? I mean, she is the chief of staff of the President of the United States. The Wall Street Journal reporting this includes text messages and phone calls, some reportedly sent in recent days, including while Wiles was traveling with Trump in the Middle East. So the impact of this is profound. What is the FBI looking at right now?
So the FBI is looking at two things. One of them is kind of common, low end, and old school, which is a phishing attack where you answer a message, somebody gets into your Microsoft Outlook or your Apple things where that gives them access, depending on how you're set up, to your calendar, but also your contacts. The second thing they're looking at is much newer and cutting edge, which is real-time AI voice changers. We've all heard the stories of recording voices and then converting them into words that you want them to say of known people, right, that they've been used in, fake kidnapping plots and things like that. This is different. This is, you pick up the phone, you use the program, you talk in your voice, and it comes out in the other person's voice in real time.
That's scary. You pick up the phone, you talk in your voice, and it comes out in somebody else's voice in real time. And I think I left out that you can call, I had a video, I don't think I put it on here, same thing, an app that it will show whatever number you choose when you call somebody. So you download an app on your phone, you call somebody, and it shows the phone number of whoever you want it to show. Let me give you an example. I have these apps on my phone. I put in my mom's work number as the number that the call is being placed from. And then I use the app that gentleman was just talking about. I record my mom for 30 seconds. And now I'm able to call, and the person that I'm calling sees that I'm calling from my mom's work number. And they hear my mother's voice. So I call up and I say, Ferris is sick today, and I'm going to be driving his car around. Now, I'm calling the attendance office at my high school. Yes, Miss Gullible, Ferris is sick today, and I'm going to be driving his car around. So please don't call me again just because you see his car running around town. By the way, I got all of your letters out of the mailbox. I'm aware of the situation. We have it under control. That's not marijuana you smell on Ferris. It's something else you don't need to worry about. What's that? No, we live in a barn. And I don't want anybody to know that. That's just the grass that's piled up in the barn next to the barn. Thanks, Miss Gullible. Well, even if she suspects something's wrong, maybe something's wrong with my mom, she can't do anything about it. The spy agencies aren't stupid. I've busted them doing this and showing me how they do it. It's very, very simple to intercept communications. Incidentally, interceptions in your football game means that somebody gets the ball and that's just one ball. Do you think they have the ability to allow the message to go through, but also be intercepted and go into their database? Do you think they have the ability to change those messages? Well, it's no national government secret anymore. Kevin Kleinsmith did just that. We'll get to that in a minute. Can I express my concern that it is the FBI who is investigating this cyber attack against Trump and his chief of staff, Susie Wiles? Is this the same FBI who can't find me to testify against Sally Yates? Is this the same FBI that I busted for the last 16 years over and over again? Tampering with evidence, obstructing justice, federal racketeering? Because Ferris Broxton investigating the real FBI is not investigating Susie Wiles' case. We are investigating this case. Ferris Broxton investigating repeatedly finds that the Federal Bureau of Investigation shouldn't be investigating crimes that they're involved in, particularly Sally Yates. The citizens never get the answers they want. The crimes just continue and become more and more effective. They learn how they got caught and they improve their techniques. Now, if you go back and watch my videos, you'll see multiple times where I call the FBI to say, I'm the nation's most important unheard eyewitness in the grand conspiracy case. You'll see a video and you'll hear the voice of a person at the FBI, sometimes identifying themselves as a duty agent. They always hang up on me after obstructing the case. But is it really their voice? Is it really the voice of the duty agent? Or is this somebody that's just impersonating them? What's really going on here? If it's not, then it's someone intercepting my phone calls. That's how you know it's being done by the spy agencies. When I call the FBI, there's only one entity that can intercept that phone call. That is FISA, our spy agency. That's how you know they're still doing it. It's the FBI one way or another. Either it's an agent at the FBI that's obstructing, or it's the FBI or CIA that's intercepting the phone calls and not letting them go through and impersonating a federal agent. Either way, this is a case that should be investigated by big media, not the FBI. Now, these criminals who abuse FISA, can they really do any harm to us? They didn't really sway an election or create bogus communications from the White House, did they? Well, you just saw they did. What can they do? Can they control anyone they want? Can they silence any witness they want? Can they create false accusations with seemingly solid evidence against anyone they want? What is the cure for this? How do we stop the criminals who have the best technology from deceiving all of us? Well, I lived it. I recorded many of the conspiring spies that abuse this system. You probably wouldn't be surprised to know the spy agencies have had this technology long before the public gained interest or access. The cure may not be simple, but a good remedy is deterrence, accountability. Let's look at the single case where an FBI agent got caught tampering with evidence. Clip 4, please.
Mr. Tolman, during Crossfire Hurricane, FBI attorney Kevin Kleinsmith altered an official document used in a FISA application, enabling the government to illegally surveil Carter Page for 11 months. Kleinsmith ultimately received only 12 months of probation. Do you believe that that's sufficient punishment for his violation?
It serves as no deterrence, and deterrence is the predictability of being held accountable.
Well, that was my next question too, which was, to the extent that you didn't think that it was sufficient, would that be an actual deterrent for other people seeking to violate FISA? And are there additional avenues that exist to hold the FBI accountable in lieu of that?
There really are no avenues.
That's terrifying. There's no penalty for the spies who have done what he did, and they know it. This is the problem. Kleinsmith should have been held accountable to the full penalty of law. 20 years, a life sentence for an activity that resulted in a treasonous outcome. He obviously intended. He should have been made an example, a deterrent to anyone who altered a single document. As it stands, there's no deterrent for conspiring to overthrow the President of the United States and our very country. There are no avenues to hold them accountable, no deterrence. I have a cure. I have plenty of solutions. But since our representative Julia Fedorchak has censored the witnesses and emboldened the criminals, I will be exposing her and running for her position. I've thrown my hat in the ring to represent you, North Dakota. I'm exposing the deep state censorship and corruption that is spreading like a fatal treasonous disease across our country. Let me show you the difference. This is your representative today. Can we see clip 5, please?
Hi, this is Congresswoman Julie Fedorchak. I was calling to invite you to a telephone town hall I'm hosting right now, but I'm sorry I missed you. I still wanted to let you know that I'm continuing to advance President Trump's conservative policies in Congress to expand North Dakota's energy production and to cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm also pleased to report that the border is more secure than it has been in decades. We're making great progress, and I'll keep fighting for conservative, pro-growth policies in the House. If you ever need anything from my office, please call us at 202-225-2611. I hope to connect with you soon.
Is this some kind of a joke? This is our representative calling me, and she's done this many times before, and saying, hi, I'm having a teletown hall right now. If you want to be heard, you're welcome to participate. What's wrong with that? Everything's wrong with that. First of all, if I want to be heard, I should be able to sit down and prepare something written up so that I can sound intelligent in the event that I get to stand up and speak. But this is a immediate, you're late. I'm holding a teletown hall right now. What if I'm at work? Well, I was at work when I got the call. Should I just stop my semi in the middle of the interstate and try to call and participate? No. Obviously, she didn't intend for anybody to participate other than the pre-canned phone calls that they already had lined up. She didn't want to hear from you. She definitely didn't want to hear from me. And it appears that she knew that I would do what I've done so many times before and have a video camera on the phone proving that the person that answers the phone isn't allowing me to participate. This is censorship in the worst manner imaginable. But now that you've seen that FISA can intercept phone calls, what does this say? She doesn't even have to tell her staff. She doesn't even have to have a staff member doing something illegal that she doesn't know about, conspiring to obstruct me from being heard. She could literally act like she wants to hear from me and just allow the criminals at FISA, who abuse FISA, to intercept my phone call and use her staff member's voice to respond and say, okay, Ferris, we'll put you in the queue. or whatever and never get through. This is the worst attack against our right to speak and be heard, our right to representation, countless of our constitutional rights. If elected, I will make sure to announce loudly and clearly where my public town halls are going to be held. I won't give such short notice that you can't plan to attend, that you can't take the day off and travel and be prepared to participate. I'll make sure that if anybody, I'll start out my town halls by saying, is there anybody here that's an eyewitness to any of the interception or any of the communications attacks against our country who has not been heard? Okay? I'll make sure that I put a stitch in this conspiracy to prevent it from going any further. She's on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, giving every advantage to the deep state. She has no clue. Or does she? Julia Fedorchak gets excellent intelligence. She knows that if she holds a town hall where you can speak in person, then you can speak in person. I just proved that speaking in person publicly to the authorities and the press is the only way that criminals can't silence you. That means that I would be able to stand up and say, I am the nation's most important unheard eyewitness. I have the evidence online here, and I've got evidence right here in my hand. And the media that's attending would have an opportunity to look at this and to confront her right there on the spot and say, what are you going to do about it? Let me say that again. Julia Fedorchak is the problem with our government in North Dakota. She is censoring the nation's most important witness, me, allowing the cyber attack against our country to continue to steal your country, your future. Julia Fedorchak is deep state corruption. The overthrow of your government is being conducted before your very faces. I've exposed it better than anyone. I've not only spent 15 years of my life investigating the criminals that are rapidly enslaving you, I caught them. They've tried desperately to silence me and discredit me. And I've proven that time and time again. But right now, check this out. I'm going to give you a piece of evidence that undeniably proves that they have tried desperately to silence me. Can we get picture one, please? Sorry, this is the one that popped up earlier accidentally. This is a driver's license. This is my driver's license. This was given to me while I was being held as a hostage at a psych ward in insane asylum. I've repeatedly stated that I was held as a hostage and tortured. This is a solid piece of evidence. Not only was I held as a hostage and tortured, but this was done to discredit me. I'm not crazy. I never pretended to be crazy. That driver's license right there, and it's cut in half because I got a new license and I was able to slip it out of there, be able to keep a portion of it for evidence, which I was trying desperately to do. The address on that driver's license, 3405 Mike Pageant Highway, Augusta, Georgia, is where they held me. That proves that I was held in an insane asylum, prevented from going to trial when I busted Sally Yates the first time using FISA to run organized crime. Here's how you know. I have a right to my medical records. Who said I'm not fit for trial? I've explained the case, what they did and what they were trying to do to defraud the government. I've explained that I stung them. I've explained that I'm an eyewitness against every single person that's involved, and that every single one of those people will be able to roll over and point at Sally Yates and say, somebody made me do it, and she's the only person that had the ability. I've explained many times before that the chief suspect who attacked our country and our president using FISA didn't use FISA to run organized crime that time as a new attempt. There's no doubt that it was intentional. She did it before. And there's a whole bunch of people that have to cooperate in order to get someone like me held in an insane asylum, which you can see right there. I want my medical records. Who said I'm not fit for trial? Who are these doctors, and where's their diagnosis? Once again, my case will prove that the chief suspect in the nation's top investigation was caught by me, busted for running a grand conspiracy before she attacked Trump and our nation. Now, I hope you'll let me fight for you, because you've seen that I'll do it, but I can't do it unless I get elected. I'm asking you to share this with your friends and family. Please share this with your social group and with your church. We need to get the word out and educate North Dakota before the deep state completely controls our country. I told you that I was a spy hunter, that I went undercover repeatedly for 16 years and caught the deep state mafia family. That is Sally Quillian Yates' legal family, controlling the Dixie Mafia, running organized crime in the government, and using FISA with a refined MK Ultra twist, in many cases, to gain control of those running our government. I've given you a taste of the evidence that I obtained while working in that undercover position they forced me into, risking my hide daily to collect the evidence against those criminals who have attacked you. Now, I'm running out of time. I don't have what I'd really like to play, but what I have next is John Russell, a Georgia lawmaker, caught in the act. I've exposed Sally Quillian Yates' legal family. I've recovered a lot of the evidence. A lot of the people are still sending me this evidence that I collected 16 years ago when I started this. It's incredible. Got a lot of stuff going on between running for office, trying to put together these productions, trying to recover old evidence, learning how to produce it. But I'm fighting for you. I hope you'll vote for me. I hope you'll tell your friends. Till next time, have a great week.